Well, hello and welcome to Planning Center University. My name is Aaron. I am the co-founder here, and I'm also the product manager of Planning Center Services, which, wouldn't you know, is what we're talking about today. So, Planning Center Services is our oldest product that we've made, and it does a lot of stuff. Today's Planning Center University is going to be talking about just one part of that, a big part, but just one part. So, today is our worship planning course, and this is about how to set up services, how to put your order of service in, item and songs and media, how to do your song management, and how to get things ready for your team to rehearse. That's what this next hour is going to be about. Now, we have another course that is on scheduling and all the ways that you can schedule. So if you're interested in that, you'll want to attend the other Planning Center University course. And actually, I'll be doing that in 2 or 3 hours from now. So you can stay tuned for that. So the order of things that we're going to do today is first I'm going to walk you through some basic planning. I'm going to show you just like the easiest stuff, the normal way to do things so you can kind of get a sense of what you might want to do. Then we're going to go into talking about songs and how to organize your songs in your library and your files. We're going to talk about some media. And then at the end, we're going to come back and do some advanced planning. I don't know what that means, but it's stuff not everybody wants to do, but you might want to do from time to time. Now, the most important thing that you can learn today is how to get help in any Planning Center product. So all of our products at the very top right have a question mark on them. So this is on my screen. If you look right up here in the top right, there's a question mark. You can click this at any time, and this takes you into like our help center here, and we will suggest articles from our online lessons based on what page you're on. You can ask a question to search for anything in those articles, and there's videos and text that tells you how to do a lot of things. And then we also have contact our support team. We've got a whole team of people that will answer your emails, and they answer them really fast, actually. So you can see right now, average reply time is currently 45 minutes. They answer almost all questions in less than 1 business hour. So that's really fast. Anyone on your team can take advantage of getting help from our support team. So once again, that is the question mark at the top right there. Now, I just realized you're going to see me doing this. My notes for what we're talking about today, they're in my phone right here, and it's like on my screen. So if it looks like I'm touching my laptop screen, I'm not dumb. I know that it's not a touch screen, but my phone is, and it's sitting on the screen. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, now after this class is over, you can watch it or send it to anybody. You can go and search for it on YouTube, or you can go to our dedicated page, which is planning.center/university, and you can see all the courses for all the different Planning Center products that you can watch and just like know everything that there is to know. So it is time to get started on the content of services, worship, planning. Here we go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the basic planning, like I said. And I want to show you how a brand new person gets started. So if you are totally new to Planning Center, you just signed up, first of all, congratulations. But second of all, you're going to get taken into account, an account that is blank. You're going to be on the plans page, and it's going to say, hey, you're in, it's going to be almost like this. It's going to say, hey, you need to add a service type. So that's the first thing you're going to do. So I'm going to click here on add a service type, and it's going to take me through this wonderful little wizard that explains to me what a service type is. And I want to explain that to everybody here right now, because this is one of the more confusing things. What is a service type? Well, it's a different type of service that you advertise to your congregation. So you would say, hey, you can come to the contemporary service. You could come to the traditional service. You could go to the high school service. This does not have to do with times, because our contemporary service at my church here happens at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. It's 2 times, but it's still just one service type. So that's the easiest way to sort of explain that, but there's a couple of different ways that you might know how to set these up. So if what you're planning has a different service order, so You're planning the high school, and there you want to put the songs that your high school team is going to do. That needs to be in its own service type. And then if you have multiple teams, but you're not planning out the order of service, let's say children's ministries, you might want to schedule all your volunteers, which once again I'm going to talk about in our other session. But even if there's lots of different teams that are in different rooms, but you're not actually planning a service order, you could put all those into one service type if you wanted to. But since today we're talking about worship planning, here are examples. So I would say, yeah, I'm planning my contemporary service, and I can actually just click right here and it fills that in. Yeah, and it's weekly, and so I'm going to walk through this. It's going to ask me about different teams and stuff like that. So once you create a service type, you will be on the dashboard. So I'm going to take you into this because my account is already set up. And here's some examples of what this looks like. So in this account, I have my contemporary service, midweek, traditional, celebrate recovery. Then I've organized some of these service types into folders. And you can see those up here. So I have a whole folder for children's ministries, for special events, for student ministries. You can organize this however you want. But when you're brand new and you're just starting out, you'll probably just have one service type. And for us, let's pretend that that's this contemporary service. So I click this little triangle and it's going to open it up, and I see all of the plans that I have already made. So inside a service type are plans. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my first of my upcoming plans, the September 20th plan, and this is where we're going to do the bulk of our stuff. So once you're in a plan, let's talk about times. So over here on the left is the time section, and you can open or close any of these sections. Times have 3 different types: service times, rehearsal times, and other times. So I'm just going to talk about the service times here. Like I said earlier, this church, this contemporary service, it happens at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. So I originally, when I started this, I clicked add a time, and it says, yes, I want to add a service time, 11 a.m. All of my teams are supposed to be there, and so I made that time, and that's how these service times got there. So you can have more than one in a service type. Now let's talk about our order of service, and that is what you see in the main section of the screen here. You can have you can add series titles if you have a series of weeks that are all on the same thing, and then you can have plan titles. That's usually like a message title. So this particular September 20th plan, the message that the pastor is preaching is called Pursued by Love. And so that's what we have up here at the top. But then we have all of the items in our service. And to add an item, you can do that in a couple of different ways. The main way is just to go up to the top here, and you see this add an item button right here. And so I can hover over that, and I just click add an item. So we're going to do that now. And I'm going to make my announcements. So let's announcements. And I'm going to tab over. This is a 3-minute item, hopefully. And then in my description, I've already copied this earlier. So I'm just going to paste, hey, the description of this. I'm just going to actually put my announcements that are right here. Potluck, baptisms, and the pastor's chat after the last service. Who's going to be doing the announcements? These are in my item notes. So I have different categories of notes here. So Laura is actually going to be, not Laura's, there's just one. Laura is going to be doing the announcement. So I'm going to put her there. And now I'm going to save this by clicking accept. And it adds the announcements to the bottom of my plan. But I don't want them there. So I'm just going to drag them into the location that I want them. And that's going to be right up here after this heading that says announcements and offering. We're going to have the announcements right there. Now let's add a song. So when I go back over to this add an item button here, I can add an item, header, song, or media. So I'm going to click add a song. Now, I already have my song library set up. We're going to talk about that in about 10 minutes. If you're brand new, there'll be no songs in here, and you'll probably want to set some songs up first, and we'll talk about that. But right now, I already have my songs in here, or at least some of them. So I'm going to search for What a Beautiful Name, and here it is. Now I can click on the song, but I've added this to my library in 3 different keys. We do it different keys sometimes. So I'm gonna have a little shortcut here and I'm gonna click right on the key of D to say, this is the key that we're doing it in this week. So I click on that, it chose the Hillsong Worship version of this and the D key. Now what's nice is because this came from my song library, a lot of stuff came with the song whenever I linked the song to this item. So I've got my whole song sequence. It actually knows how long the song is, 5 minutes, 42 seconds. I don't need to know 42 seconds, but you can if you want. And it even knows who led this song the last time we did it in this contemporary service. So it imported this person note, Allison and worship team. If it's not the same, I can just change that if I want to. So I've got all of those, and now I'm going to click accept. It adds What a Beautiful Name there, and I'm going to drag this into a different spot and just put it right there in my service. And I've got the song added to my service. Now, I showed you how the song sequence and the time all came over with it, but the most important thing that comes over with the song when you link to a song like I just did is all the files, the chord charts, the audio, any of that stuff. So let me show you how you actually get to those files. There's a couple of ways. If you want to get to files for one specific item in the service, usually just you as the admin are probably going to do this, but you can hover over the item in the service, and over here on the right, there's a little badge that says 6. That means there are 6 files attached to this, and when I hover over this 6, I'm actually going to see all the files. So I can click to get my lyrics file. I have a YouTube attachment on here, praise charts, song select chart, and even an audio file that I can listen to in the media player. So I can click on any of those or even click the little download buttons to access those. Now that's to get files just one at a time. But the best way to access your files is through our rehearsal tools. So at the very top of the plan, next to add an item, there's a rehearse button. Now, when your team members log into this site later, they don't have an add an item button because they can't do that. So they will they'll see fewer buttons than you do, and it'll be easier for them to see this rehearse button. But under rehearse, I've got some options. So the media player, this will open up a media player of all of the audio files that I have that linked to this plan. So all the songs that I've added, if they have any MP3s or audio files, they'll all be here now in a playlist that I can access from here. If you have a whole bunch of chord charts and you upload your chord charts or lyrics as PDF files, then you can go to Rehearse and you can say download all PDFs. And this, instead of getting one chart at a time, you could say, yeah, I want all of my chord charts and lyrics files, and it will compile them all into one file and download that one file for you. Now, what's really nice about this is some of you will have a couple people on your team that maybe just don't do computers. Not gonna do it. And so you're like, how do I deal with those people? How do I help those people in their non-computer journey? This is a way that you can do it. Even if they're not gonna log on here, you can go to download all PDFs, and just with one click, you can print out their whole packet and just have it ready for them when they get there to rehearsal or on Sunday or whenever that's going to be. So all that stuff is accessible in the rehearse menu up here. Let's talk about service order timing. Now, not all churches care about this. Some churches want to know when their service is going to end. And even if you don't care about the exact timing, I would propose that most people do want to know kind of at least an estimated timing, like how long do we think the service is going to be? Well, because Planning Center knows how long your songs are and how long you put in each other item, it can sort of calculate that for you. So if I look down here at the bottom of my service order, this plan looks like it's going to take about 73 minutes. Great. We try to have services between an hour and an hour 15 minutes. So we're right on track for this. At the top of this column, though, you can see I'm viewing length in minutes. And I can actually change this column. So when I click length in minutes, I have some options. Length is what I'm already on, but I can actually see times instead of lengths. So if I click 9 a.m., this is looking at what my service times are. Remember we talked about that a little while ago up here where our service times are, those service times are available. So if I click 9 o'clock, now I'm seeing when each of these items is supposed to occur during my 9 o'clock service, which is helpful. Baby dedications. That way you can, if there are people being dedicated, you can say, hey, those are going to happen at around 9:18 if things go according to plan. Not only 9 a.m., I can view 11 a.m. or I can view all times. And this helps me see when things are happening at different services. Now, here's a great tip. Let's look here, and we have, just like I was talking about, baby dedications. What happens when you have things a little bit different at your two times? So at 9 o'clock, I'm going to do one baby dedication, and at 11 o'clock, I'm going to do 5. Well, 9 o'clock is going to be short, and 11 o'clock is going to take longer. So what? Or let's say I'm not doing any. Let's start with there. At the 11 o'clock service, I'm not doing any baby dedications. Well, that means I'm going to get 5 minutes back. How do I exclude an item from that service time? It's easy. I just look at what time that's supposed to happen at the 11 o'clock service. So it says 11:18, and I just click it. Click, and now baby dedications has been excluded from the 11 a.m. service, and you can see the 9 a.m. service is going to end at 10:13, but the 11 a.m. service is going to end at 12:08 because it got 5 minutes back. If you want to remember this later, type the word exclude into our search field. But pretty easy. If I wanted to add it back, I would just click add. Now let's take that one step further, which I almost did a minute ago. What if you are doing baby dedications and they're different at each service? Well, what I would do is I would add an item, and I would add it twice. And I would say, I would spell it right, and then I would say, hey, baby dedications are taking 1 minute at one of my services. So I would drag this up to here. So I've got them both in a row, and so I remove that one from 11. Let me remove this one from 9. So that way I have the first baby dedications is 5 minutes at the 9 a.m. service, and it's 1 minute at the 11 a.m. service, and that will help you have two different service orders, but in the same plan. Now what's really nice about this is when you go and print this plan, let me scroll to the top here, and over here to the top right, when I print, it's going to open up this box, and it gives me an option of which times I want to print. If I only print the 9 o'clock time, it's only going to print the baby dedication. Let me show you that. That is, it only prints it one time because only one of these is in the 9 a.m. service. Then I could go back and I could have a separate printout for the 11 a.m. service. So two separate printouts based on the same plan by excluding items from your service order. And I'm going to delete this back again because my service has it's the same thing at both times. And the last thing I'm going to show you in this order of service is how to view some of those notes. Remember, we saw that Allison was going to lead a song and that Laura was going to do the announcements. I can see that information if I click the pencil on hover over an item and click the pencil. It will open up that box, but I want to see it right here. So what I can do is I can go to the top header of the order of service, and I can hover over this column chooser, and I can say, you know what, right here in the plan, I want to see the person that is going to be doing these things. And you can turn on the categories for all your different note categories and even some song options. So like I could see the song sequence right here on the plan if I wanted to, or CCLI number, beats per minute. So I have both of those turned on, and now I can see the person responsible and the song sequence. And what's really nice is for these notes, I can actually click right here and I can edit them. So if I go to the offering, I can click right here in this person column, and I can say I'm going to be doing the offering, or whoever's going to do it, and you don't even have to edit the item. Do it right here on the plan, which is awesome. Okay. Last thing here, and this is not exactly about the order of service, but this is like super important. When you change things on your order of service, and you've already emailed your team members, you've already scheduled your team, and then you're like, you know what, we're going to change songs. You need to email your team again and let them know that you've changed something big. Planning Center does not just automatically email your team members every time you make a change. that would get kind of annoying because some changes you want to let them know about, some changes you don't want to let them know about. And you don't want to just over email your people. So if you do change things around that your team needs to know about, you need to email them. Respect your team and make sure that you do that. And it's super easy to do. So you just go over to the team section, and at the bottom there is an email button, and you can email them again. Or you can actually just type E on your keyboard. And that's a shortcut key. What? Shortcut keys? Yes, there are. And actually, if you type the question mark on almost any page, you're going to get a pop-up that shows you all the different shortcut keys that are available on this page. The plans page has a lot of shortcuts. You can see here the E was to send an email. Adding a header, I for add an item, S for add a song. So many great shortcuts that you can use on the plans page to just do things faster than you ever thought you could. And that is our basic planning. Next, we are going to talk about songs and organizing your songs library. So if you are brand new to Planning Center, like I said earlier, when you come to the songs tab, there's gonna be nothing there. Empty, nada, zilch. We don't give you any songs, but we give you a lot of ways to import songs from lots of different common places, or to put your own songs in here. Maybe you write worship songs and you want to put your own stuff. So this page would be empty, but I've already got some songs. And the first thing that you're going to want to do, even before you add songs, is you're going to want to set up your song integrations. So do you, and that's going to be at the gear menu at the top of the songs page. So in this gear menu, I've got my integrations, and we have built-in integrations with praise charts, rehearsal mix, and song select. If you use any of these services, you want to set up these integrations, because what this allows you to do is link your Planning Center services and your praise charts account together, or your song select, so that when you add songs, you can just bring in all the files that are on praise charts that you purchased or song select. So that's the first thing you want to do, is set up any of these integrations that you use. I've already done that. Pretty much you just click it and log into that account and it's done. So that's the first thing. Now I'm going to show you how to add a song. So you'll never guess, but you're going to click this big white add a song button. Aren't you so smart? You figured it out even before I said it. So add a song, I'm going to click. And now I'm just going to search, and I'm going to add the song Who You Say I Am. Who You Say, okay, I only have to type a little bit of it. Now, there's two different types of searches here. We are searching either by popular recordings, and this search of all these is powered by multi-tracks, rehearsal mix actually. And I can actually just click on any of these thumbnails to listen to a sample of that song to make sure that's the one that I want. And you can actually pick a specific version, which we call arrangements in Planning Center, of that song, and that's popular recordings. You can also switch over to all songs, and this searches CCLI's song select database. So even if there's not a popular recording of it, or if there are songs that are not in the other database, this is going to be a more complete database of songs if you need to go that way. But most people can just stay on the popular recordings tab. So I'm going to do that, and actually this first one is the one that I want. So I'm just going to choose Who You Say I Am by Hillsong Worship, and it's going to go over and it's going to get the information about that song for me. So it says my arrangement name, it's putting that in for me, Hillsong Worship. It is recorded in G flat, so it automatically chooses that. Now, Planning Center has a feature where it knows your guitar players are not going to play in G flat unless you've got magical guitar players that are unlike any I've ever seen. They're usually going to want to use a capo. So this is great. So I can actually choose a capo for this, and I'm going to choose my capo in E, so that it imports the chord charts in G flat and also a capo version in E. Here are tags. Now this type is one that I said I want to require. So it's asking me about this, and I've set these up. I'm going to show you about tags in a little while, but I want to know that this is a chorus or a hymn or an instrumental or a special song. This is a chorus, so I'm going to choose that. I could add other tags, but I'm going to skip that for now. And then in the file section, if you set up those integrations, it's going to let you import your files from those integrations. So for this example, I want to import the rehearsal mix files and the praise charts files. Now what Planning Center did when I opened this up, it already went to praise charts. It looked to see, did I buy any charts for who you say I am on praise charts? And because I did, this checkbox is here. If you haven't bought files from praise charts, then that checkbox won't even be there. But I have. Yes, here it is. So now I click submit. It goes and gets all the files. It made my new song. It is importing the files from praise charts right now and from rehearsal mix. You can see them just popping into the page. It got the song sequence. It got all this great information, even the lead sheet from praise charts, all the stuff. That was so fast and so easy. My song is now there, and now I can reuse it for all of my different plans. Now, Planning Center also has a feature that allows you to make your own chord charts that you can even transpose. That same feature allows you to import text-based chord charts from other places and lets you edit them. For instance, Praise Charts has text-based chord charts, and when I just imported my files from Praise Charts, it imported the text from Praise Charts too. And now I can actually edit that chord chart if I want to. So that is actually in this button right here that says lyrics and chords. So I'm going to click lyrics and chords, and it's already got it. Like I said, it imported this from Praise Charts. Over here on the left is the text that you get to either import or you can type. So this is a great way for you to type in your own chord charts. Or let's say you find a chord chart on the internet. You can copy it, you can paste it over here on the left-hand side. And then on the right, you're going to see a preview of what it's going to look like in Planning Center. But what's nice is this preview can be automatically transposed. So right now it's showing me this preview in the original key, which is G flat. But like I said, it can be transposed. So if I want to see this in E, I can just preview it in E, and now it has transposed all of those chords into the key of E. You can do any key. You can also use the Nashville number system and see what a number version of that chart is going to be. So here is that chart transposed to the number system. So that is transposable chord charts are awesome that you can use here. And the way you put those chords in, the best way at least, is called Chord Pro. And what you do is, you'll see over here, I am putting the chords inside of square brackets right next to the syllable that it belongs to. So I have, here's a great example. Up at the top here, well, come. I have E flat minor next to well and D flat next to come. And over here when I view, let me change this back from numbers. Let's go to the key of E again. It not only transposes it, but it puts the transposed chords right above the right syllables and in those right keys. So that is Chord Pro. It's pretty easy. You can search for Chord Pro in our help system, or even right here from the options. If you click on options, learn Chord Pro. That's going to take you to an article that shows you this, but it's really not more complicated than just putting the chords in brackets right to the left of the syllable that they belong to. And then as it gets transposed to all keys, the chords are always going to line up. So that is Chord Pro. There are ways that you can format these charts. There's buttons up here where you can change the formatting. So when I open this, I can change the font size to 16 or something if I want it to be a lot bigger. You can put this in 2 columns. You can change the font. There's a lot of different things that you can do to format those chord charts. Now I'm going to go back to my song arrangement. So I'm going to click on the top left here to go back, and now I'm back on this song. And Planning Center allows you to have multiple arrangements of each song. So right now I'm on the Hillsong Worship arrangement. And this arrangement has its own audio file, the recording. It has its own chord chart. But let's say that I sometimes want to do a different version, a different arrangement, an acoustic arrangement. We do this, at the end of the service, or when we don't have the whole band or whatever. It's going to be different chords, maybe a different audio file for people to rehearse with. So over here on the left is where I have my arrangements. And right now I just have one, Hillsong Worship. But I'm going to click Add, and we're going to make a new arrangement of this song. So we're going to say this is the acoustic arrangement. And I'm going to skip some of the rest of these things, although I do, actually I can just say this is slow and this is a contemporary. I do want to download the lyrics, but I don't actually want to import praise charts because it's the wrong arrangement of this song. So I'm not going to select it. I'm going to click Submit on that arrangement. Now it's going to ask me what key I want to do it in. So I am going to choose the key of D for this, because that's what key I want to do this acoustic arrangement in. And you can add a description to your keys, like if you're going to do it in multiple keys. For me, the key of D is the male key. This is the key that I'm going to sing it in, or other male worship leaders. So I'm going to do that and put that on there. I'm also going to download the chord chart from Song Select, but not my praise chart stuff. So I'm going to click Save now. And now I have a new arrangement of this song called Acoustic. It just imported my Song Select chart, and it gave me lyrics as well. So over here on the left, you see I have both of my arrangements of this song. Now let me show you the ways that you can add your own files to stuff. So far, the files that we've added have been importing them from Song Select to Praise Charts or Rehearsal Mix. But if you have, there's two other ways to get to your files. So right here next to Files is a plus button. I want to add files, so I'm going to click the plus. This opens up a pop-up here with a whole bunch of different ways that you can do it. So the first way is you can upload your own files. You can link to other files on the internet. Let's say you have files on like Dropbox or something like that. You could link to them there. Here's those Song Select and Praise Charts options. If you didn't do them when you created the song, you could come back here and do them later. iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Rehearsal Mix. I'm going to skip down to YouTube. And I'm going to click on the YouTube tab. It automatically search for Who You Say I Am, but you can change that. And I'm going to see, oh look, this fourth one, Who You Say I Am Acoustic. That's what I want. I want to use the acoustic version. So I'm going to click the plus right here. And it now puts a link on this arrangement for the YouTube Who You Say I Am acoustic version. So when I put this in my plan for September 20th, my team members can now watch the YouTube video from the website or from their phone when they use our mobile app. You can also, I showed you in that files pop-up, you can upload files, but there's actually an even faster way to upload your files. If you have files on your computer somewhere, I'm going to just switch over to my desktop over here. So I have a chord chart already, and I have the audio file of the acoustic that I already have on my computer. So I'm just going to take both of these files and I'm going to drag them onto either the arrangement or I'm going to drag them onto the key. These files are both, it's a chord chart in the key of D, so I want to attach it to the key of D. So I just drop it on there and it's going to upload those files. So that's the fastest way to get files, just drag them onto there. And you usually want to put your files with the key because this chord chart is in the key of D. If I later do this song in, let's say I'm going to do this song later, I'm going to add another key. So right down here under here, add a key, and we're going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to do it in C, and this is also a male key, but if a lower male worship leader wants to do it, they can do that, and I'm going to click Save. That is going to make me a new key. Now what I can do is I've got now I have a chord chart in C and I have a chord chart in D. Well, when I plan this song, in my plan, I choose which key it's going to be in. Well, when we're going to do the song in D, I don't want my team members to see a chord chart in C. So that's why you put the files with the key they belong to, so that when you choose that key, they just see the files for that particular key. Planning Center also lets you transpose audio files. You have a recorded file that you want your team to be able to rehearse with in the key you're going to do it in. We've got a solution for you. So you can do this in a couple ways. I've got my audio file already attached to the key of D. I can hover over that, and I've got some options here. One of them is this transpose icon. The other way you can find this is you can, up here next to the files header, where you have the plus and lyrics and chords, in between them is a button for transposing audio. So let me do that. Transpose audio. I'm going to choose which of my audio files. It's the one I just uploaded. I'm going to say I want to move it from D, and I want to transpose this to the key of C. So it's going to make this file, the acoustic version in C, perfect. It's going to transpose it down from D to C, and I click transpose. Now it's going to take this about a minute to transpose, but then you have a file in that key. Now I know what you're thinking. What does it sound like? Yeah, it's going to be great for rehearsal. The speed totally stays the same, so people can still rehearse along with it. The instruments sound almost exactly the same. The vocals will start to sound a little bit like chipmunks or a little bit like James Earl Jones, based on how far you go from the original key. But I like Darth Vader sings worship sometimes. You know, it's a fun experience. So transposing, great way for your people to rehearse along with the recording. Yes. Okay. We've shown you that. Now I'm going to go to the actual songs page and talk a little bit about finding songs, organizing songs. So back on the main songs tab, if you want to just find a song, it's real easy. You click right here where it says add a text filter, and I'm going to search for Who You Say, which we just added that song. So it added that text filter and it narrowed my list down to this. Now, there's a little triangle next to each song in the list. I can click this to expand and see the different arrangements that exist within that song. And the reason that's nice is because you have columns for different things. So when this is closed, I can see I do this song in C, D, and G flat. But those keys are different for the different arrangements. So when I expand that, you'll see the Hillsong Worship we just so far do in G flat, but the acoustic version we do in C and D. So it breaks those down so you can see them per arrangement rather than per song. You can also see which types of files you have uploaded per arrangement. I'm going to click on this text filter, and it's highlighted. I'm just going to hit delete. Boop, clears it out. And now I'm seeing all my songs again. But let me show you some other ways to filter. So over here, you can click the filter sidebar, or you can just hit F on your keyboard, and that will open filters. And I want to find all of my songs that are in the key of D. So the start key, let me find songs that start in the key of D. I'm going to click on that. It adds a little pill up here to my filters, and now I have 23 songs. All of these include a version in the key of D. That's music. I want to go to my tags over here, and I want to find songs that are based on the speed. And I have a different speed per arrangement. So I'm going to say I want to find songs that are either fast or medium. And I'm going to choose both of those. And it adds that as a filter. So now I've narrowed this down to songs that are in D and that are either fast or medium. And now I just have 12 songs. Now let me explain to you the logic of this filtering. It's pretty easy once you understand it. Any of these, let's just call them pills up here. Anything within one pill, it's going to use the word or. So because fast and medium are both inside the speed pill, it's going to find me songs that are fast or medium. Between the different pills, it's like putting the word and. So I want to find songs that are in the key of D and are either fast or medium. So that's how the logic of these things work. And it makes it pretty powerful for you to really filter down based on lots of different things, based on when you added the file, based on when you scheduled that file, based on when you create, lots of different stuff you can do over here in this filter sidebar. Now, I want to show you how to kind of save filters. So notice these filters are gray. If I leave this page, let's just go to the media page, and then I come back to the songs page, my filters are reset. No filters are applied. I'm back to all 113 of my songs. Let's go and add a filter. I want to see just my worship choruses. So I'm going to go to tags, and I'm going to say type. Chorus, not hymns, instrumental, or specials. Let me just see my worship choruses. You know what? This is great. I'm also, what is a season? I can see just my Christmas songs here. But actually, what I'm trying to make sort of like a default view. My default view, I actually want to not show Christmas or Easter or patriotic songs. Like you can see down here, Angels We Have Heard on High is the last song on the list. I actually want my default view to not show seasonal songs. So season, none. I want to only see songs that don't have a season at all. So I click none there. And now I'm seeing all my choruses that are not seasonal. You know what? This is the default view that I want. So I'm going to pin these filters. So when I click on this season filter, at the very bottom of this filter is a pin. When I pin it, it turns yellow. I'm going to do the same thing to chorus. Pin it, it turns yellow. So now both of these filters, when I leave the page and I come back, these filters will already be applied, and that sort of makes this my default view. Now what's cool about this is when it is Christmas time, and it's like, you know what, I just want to see my Christmas songs, then I can switch this right here from the bar to show me my Christmas songs and not the Easter patriotic. And now I'm listing just my Christmas songs. It's the fastest way to sort of like switch between different kind of libraries. So pinning filters is a great way to keep them saved so that they're always applied when you come back. Now, both of these filters are tag filters. So how do you set up these tags? Because tags are one of the most powerful ways to keep your songs organized. So I'm going to go up here to my gear, and I'm going to click Edit Tags. From the tags page, you're going to see there's lots of different types of tags. Tags that apply to the entire song. Like, I can't, Angels We Have Heard on High is a Christmas song. I can't do like a different arrangement of the song that's not a Christmas song. So this is a song tag: Christmas, Easter, patriotic, chorus, hymn, instrumental, special. I also have arrangement tags. These are tags because they can be different for each arrangement. So the speed, the one version of the song might be fast, one version might be medium. So that's why you have arrangement tags and song tags, because they get applied to the different places. So this is where you go edit tags. You can create new tag groups, and then you can add tags within those groups. Pretty easy. Just click the buttons that say add. So I'm not going to go into that much more. Back on the songs page, let's say you've already got a songs library and you want to reorganize it. Well, bulk editing lets you edit a whole bunch of songs at one time really quickly. Let's say you don't have this season tag and you're like, I want to do that. I want to have a season tag. You can go and make the season tag and you could apply it using bulk editing. So I'm going to do one actually. I want to find songs that have different speeds. So first of all, I'm going to clear out all my filters. I could click these to delete them, but over here on the far right, there's this X that will clear all my filters. Boom, back to my default list. So let's open up my filters. I'm going to go to my tags, and I want to find songs that don't have a speed set at all. So yeah, speed, none. Okay, so here are all the songs in my library that I have not set a speed on. So now I've got just 26 songs and I want to set a speed. So what I'm going to do is, speed is an arrangement tag. So I've got the ability to print this list, to download this songs list as a CSV, or to bulk edit this list. So I'm going to bulk edit, not the songs, but the arrangements. I'm going to click that. Now it expands all these songs so that I can see the arrangements of these songs. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just find a couple of them. Let's say Angels We Have Heard on High and this Shane and Shane, and like these different arrangements are medium speed. I'm not sure if they are, but let's just pretend. Now that I've selected them, I can click bulk edit and I can say add tags, and I can just type medium, and it's going to give me a little warning. It's going to say, hey, each arrangement can only be in one speed. You can't have an arrangement that's fast and medium. So in case any of those ones that I selected already are fast, this is going to change it to medium. That's what this little warning says. So the warnings are different based on what you choose. That's what this one means. So you know what? Yes, this is what I want. I'm going to update these 3 arrangements, and now it's already complete. That was fast. So now these 3 arrangements have a medium speed applied, and I have just kind of reorganized my library a little bit. Planning Center lets you organize your own songs, but it also lets you see popular songs across all the churches that are using Planning Center, and this is called Top Songs. Let me show you that. So when you add a song, at the very top right of the songs page, I click add a song. Here I have a button that says view top songs. This is a list of songs scheduled over the next 6 weeks by all churches who use Planning Center. Let's see what that's about. So when I view this, I can see last week, this week, or any of the upcoming weeks, what all the churches have planned. So this is a great tool to be able to find new music, which is why it's in the add a song pop-up. So here I'm seeing for this coming up weekend, October 13th, these are the most popular used songs. So Build My Life is the number one song. I can hover over it and I can click the little play button and it will play me a sample of that song right from here. This last year column, this is showing me last year, the second week of October, this song was down 5 spots. It was in spot number 6, I think. And so it has come up 5 spots since this same week last year. This sort of helps you see what songs are new. Waymaker, it's risen 275 spots in the last year. That's a big jump. Songs that are in bold are songs that you already have in your account. Songs that are not in bold, like Glorious Day here, is a song that I have not added to my account, and I could click right here and it will, boom, add, go into, let me choose which version of that, and it will let me add it to my account. So I'm going to close out of here and go back to top songs real quick. I can skip through any of these dates to see what songs are popular the next coming weeks. Now, the further we get out, the fewer amount of churches have actually planned their songs. So you'll see, this week is going to have results that are a little bit more accurate. But what's also great about this is once you're looking to plan Christmas or Thanksgiving or any of those kind of things, you can actually search in this week and I can, let's look for songs about hope. So when I do that, it's going to show me songs that either match the title. So obviously hope is in the title of Living Hope, but in Christ Alone, it matches the theme. So when you import songs from CCLI, it comes with themes. You can edit these yourself if you want to, but hope is one of the themes of In Christ Alone. So this is a great way to find songs on a specific topic or theme. All right, and you can scroll through those results of the top songs and see them and other stuff. You can also, let me scroll back to the top and collapse all these arrangements. You can do reports on your songs. I'm not going to show you that many of those, but at the top of the songs page is a reports icon, and you can click here to do a report on how often you've used your songs, and you choose a date range. When you specifically did your songs. If you use CCLI's rehearsal license, that allows you to legally share audio files so that your team can rehearse along with the audio. You would want to use this probably. It allows you to print a report of who's been accessing those audio files so you can do that legally. File downloads, every file that has been downloaded in a time period. And then if you ever have to report to CCLI, CCLI sometimes will email you and say, hey, you need to report your activity for the next 6 months. This copy activity report will help you set all of that up and allow you to, we can't do the report, we can't submit the report for you. CCLI does not allow us to do that, but we do at least allow you to have a report that you can, it makes it really easy to fill out their form online. That's songs. Can you believe it? We've got a little less than 10 minutes left. I think we're going to make it. After songs, we're going to talk about media. Now, there's not much to talk about for media, but media is used for a couple of purposes. And the easiest one to understand is if you're going to show videos in your service. Now, not necessarily because Planning Center is going to actually help you show them, but it's a great planning tool. So if at my church, we often show a video before the pastor gets up to preach his message. It's really nice for him to be able to actually go onto Planning Center that week, watch a preview of that video so he knows how it's going to end, so he knows kind of like the mood. Does the video end kind of serious, fun, funny, whatever? A great way for people to preview those videos online and just for you to organize your whole media library. So that's the easiest example, but there can be lots of different types of media. So on this media tab, I'm going to click add a media just to sort of show you what those types are. So the different media types can be audio. You're not going to use this that often because most audio should be on your songs library. But you can have countdown videos, documents. A document, what would you use this for? Well, if you're using this for children's ministries or maybe drama, like you want to store a script for a drama and you want to reuse it each time someone does that drama, the media library is a perfect place for that. You would create a document and you would say, this is, your script for so-and-so drama. So media can be used for any of those things. Now, what's nice is you could also use this to organize like your announcement slides if you wanted to. National Day of Prayer is coming up and we want to have a cool design slide that we're going to use every year for this. Or the slide actually has the specific date on it. Let's say your slide has the date on it. Well, that media is only good until that date passes. So what's kind of nice is you could make that slide and you could say auto archive and you could say after that day passes on the 27th, automatically archive this media. So that's media. There's not much else to show. There's tags just like there are on songs, and you can do the same type of filtering on the media page. So we're going to get back into the last section here, which is advanced planning. And then we're going to talk about music stand at the end. So I'm going to go back into, I'm going to hover over the plans tab, and I can just skip right to the most recent plan I was using. That's September 20th in my contemporary service. So here I am. On the left-hand side, we've got our teams. We also have notes and attachments. So notes is a great place to put a note that pertains to the whole plan. Earlier, I showed you how to add notes to items, like this is a note about the baby dedication in the service. But notes over here is a way to add notes that are for the whole thing. Hey, we're kicking off a new series, or the choir is wearing green this week. Any kind of notes that are pertain to there. And then attachments. Danger, danger, danger. You don't want to use this section unless you know what you're doing. One of the most common things we see people do is they upload all their song files over here to the attachments. If you have song files over here on attachments, you're probably doing it wrong. Sorry. I know it's like not PC for me to tell you, how you're doing things wrong, but you're doing it wrong. So you only want to put files over here in the attachment section that only ever will be accessed from September 20th, contemporary service. Most of the time, you want your songs to be in the songs library because you want to be able to reuse them, or you want to be able to have all those song features like transposing and all that other stuff. So attachments. Here we've got a volunteer covenant for all of our team members, and there's a stage layout. These are files that are just useful for this one plan. So that's what the attachment section is useful for. Templates are a great way to import, to have things that you use over and over again. So at my church, we do communion in our service once a month. Every time we do communion, we have a couple of things that come along with it, and I don't want to have to remember those each time we do it. So I have made a template, and you can make a template by clicking this little gear at the top here and finding the templates. I'm not going to show you that. I'm just going to show you what it's like to import them. So when I go to the top of my plan, I have an import button up here, and I can click import, and you usually do this for scheduling people, but it doesn't have to be just for that. I have a communion template, and I'm going to import, for now I just want to import the plan items. So let me import those plan items that are in that communion template. What's going to do is it just added all of these things to the bottom of my plan. The communion setup for 3 minutes, song and pass the elements 4 minutes, prayer 1 minute, and now I can put these in the right spot. And what's nice is in my template I don't know what song I'm going to use, so I just call it song. But now that the template is in here, I can actually click the little pencil to edit this item, and I can link this item to whatever song I'm going to do this week for communion. So I would link a song, I would find it, and then this file, then it would be linked to this particular song. I'm not going to do that for right now. So that is templates to let you reuse different things. Now a template imports those things. It doesn't sync. So if I go and change the template, it's not going to change my plan. Just when you import the template, it copies that stuff into your plan at that moment. We have an awesome tool in Planning Center called Services Live. Services Live is a way to run your service. is to kind of step through your service in real time. So when I click live at the top of my plan, this is going to take me into a brand new view of this plan. And I've got, I see this is my contemporary service, 9 a.m. Now this plan happens in the year 2020, so it's a year from now, which is why this countdown at the top says a year. Yours is probably going to say 1 hour countdown or whatever it is. When I'm ready to start this plan, I click start. Okay, it's time to start. And now it's going to walk me through all the stuff that I put in the plan here. So 20 minutes before the service, it starts this 20-minute countdown for the walk-in slides. The first thing in the service is Our God. I can drag and drop these things. When I'm ready to start the service, someone clicks next. Okay, we're on Our God. A 5.5-minute countdown starts. I can see the notes for that thing. This is a great thing to put in your sound booth so that your team, maybe your tech team, can even see, you can have notes for what microphone is in use for each thing, or the lighting that's going to be there. Right now I can see what's happening now, or I can see what's happening next to see the notes for that next up item there. There's a chat. You're seeing everything on the left here of what's happening coming up in the service. And there's actually a little eyeball over here that you can see what's happening in other services. So if I click this eyeball and I click watch a service, what's happening in the traditional service, because it's happening at the same time. When I go back, I can see, this service is a little bit ahead, and right now they're on the message, and they have a little bit more than 5 minutes before the message is supposed to be over. So and you can watch as many services as you want if you have things that happen simultaneously in your church. There are different views of this. I have one over here. This is the full screen overview. Notice it's synced. Our God, Our God. When I click next over here and I swipe back over, boop, it's on the welcome and it has a countdown. So if you have screens like in the green room, this is a great screen to show if there are people waiting backstage to see when it's their turn to do something. That is Planning Center Live. And the other great thing about that is every time you click next, it's actually recording how long that thing actually took. And then you can go back to your plan and you can print a report of how long things took in your service, which is a great way to find out if you're planning for 3-minute announcements and they maybe took 8 minutes. It's proof of how those things are happening. Okay. The last thing we're going to talk about is Planning Center Music Stand. So Music Stand is an add-on to Planning Center services that allows you to turn what you've already put on your set list into a digital music stand. So I actually have an iPad. This works on iPad or Android tablets. I already have this set up right here. And I have opened this September 20th plan. It's the exact same stuff there. And so it just loads everything and it looks for all the songs and it imports, it downloads one PDF per song. So the acoustic player could say, I want to view the capo chart, and the other people can say, I want to view the regular chart. So here's my set list that I can see. At the top, I've got Our God. So let's see what happens. I'm going to tap on Our God here, and it's going to go into my music viewer, the PDF view. So I've got this. I can now swipe, and I can go between my entire set list, and it goes between all of those. Now, as you can see, I have taken notes on these. So your team members can do highlight, they can do pen, they can type out text on there. You can share your notes with other people on your team. There's an audio player built in. If I just tap once on the screen, it shows me my toolbar. And at the top is a play icon. And when I tap that, it loads the audio player at the button. So if you have music files, they can listen while they play the music. There's also a metronome, which allows you to play in time with the beat. I can even flash the metronome on there and it will do that. You can even sync metronomes between different devices wirelessly. So when I hit start, it starts everybody's metronome on their own device. It's really cool. So Music Stand is an awesome app that lets you use it either just during rehearsals at home or during your services so people can stay literally on the same page. And that is an add-on, so you pay either $2, $5, or $10 extra a month based on the size of the plan that you're already signed up for services. So that is all for today. We've got a lot of ways for you to organize your songs and to organize your service order. Once again, if you want to help somebody else learn all this stuff, you can click that help button in the top of the screen to get help at any time. You can search for Planning Center University on YouTube, or at any time you can share this with people by just going to planning.center/university.